So today I want to share a little update on my garden. And as you can see, I've got my trellising going. And these first two, a little bit smaller than the others because they are different varieties. We have a sweet cherry tomato and a sweetie tomato, which is a yellow tomato, Estrina. And then over here, we've got our rose de burns, which are growing very well. And you can even see we've got some little buds starting to pop out, so we're gonna have some fruit before too long. And over here, you can see that the romaine is starting to pop up through. I think I had a little too much of a straw on there, and they weren't quite getting enough sunlight, so I peeled away some of the straw, and I think that's helped a lot. Peppers that went in. We've been fighting the battle with aphids, fighting the battle with bugs as always. And as you can see, there's some of this one plant here that the aphids have sucked dry. And you know, aphids you can just pick off with your hands. You can just squish them. It's kind of gross, but after a while, I don't want them eating my tomatoes, so my peas, so I don't mind squishing them. I did have to spray some neem oil today. Neem oil is a natural oil that helps to get rid of your aphids. As you can see, I've got these yellow sticky tapes, which they do pretty well for all the little flying insects and so forth, but I'm not really convinced they do anything for the aphids. And the cucumbers are doing well. These are the regular vining cucumbers, and they seem to be doing okay. I'm not quite sure that we got everything off of there that we should. They don't seem to have any aphids at this time, so we're just gonna we keep trying to trellis them up here so that they'll take hold and stay on the trellis. And they eventually will. They'll grab hold and they'll start working up there. Get any bugs off of there that you see. And you can see we've got flowers there, so that means we're gonna have fruit pretty soon. We're gonna have cucumber. I don't think you think of cucumbers as fruit, but that's what it's called when they start to blossom and then turn into whatever the vegetable is they're gonna start to fruit. The peas have done extremely well. Again, these are the ones I started in November and grew under cover all winter. I harvest enough, a handful of peas, I would say, every day, which makes my dad really, really happy because that's one of his favorite things is fresh peas out of the shell. And then this crop of peas doing okay, but again, a lot of aphid problems this year. I'm not really sure why we're having such an aphid problem. As I may have mentioned, even on my roses, I've had an aphid problem this year. Nasturtiums, lots of foliage, not any flowers yet. The celery's doing well. I'm really excited. I've never grown celery, and it seems to be doing quite well. If I look in here, and I can see it's got even more leaves starting to pop up there. This one's doing extremely well, so I might just cut a stalk of that and have it with some peanut butter or something, protein peanut butter. And then these tomatoes also are doing well over here. The carrots are a total bust, so I won't be growing those undercover again this year. I pulled some of these out, but they're just really, they're all stalk and no root particularly. And then under here, it's been kind of warm. We've had some warm days, so I put some floating row cover on top of these heads of lettuce. Never grown head lettuce before because we're in a hot climate and not really most appropriate for head lettuce. I've got one pepper started over here, again another one from seed. I put it in this corner because even though it doesn't get as much sun over here, being close to some of these vegetables, the peppers can help it, but I'm not sure. I may have to move him out into the sun somewhere. And last year I had a begonia that I had all summer, and it, of course, died off, and I brought it inside, just let it kind of do its thing, and now you can see it's starting to get some flowers on it. I'm really excited. I seem to have saved that one, so I'm letting it live out here for right now, and obviously I need to cut back on some of my grasses that are growing. This originally, you can kind of see that it looks like really overgrown grass, but this is actually liriope that was planted here along the edge of the fence when this was a fence, and you might be able to see where the fence was, and it went right across here over to that side. And when we took down part of a fence on the other side of the yard, we made this little bump out with these pieces. They're not in the ground, they're just sort of tacked to the side, and it's served us very, very well. So that's where we are. Oh, I almost forgot. How about some hibiscus for you? These have flowered continually since we planted them, and got lots more buds too. One thing I'll tell you about hibiscus, if you're not familiar with it, hibiscus are very susceptible to grasshoppers, and grasshoppers love to eat hibiscus. And last year I lost an entire hibiscus plant because I didn't know that that's what was eating it, but it was a grasshopper. So watch for grasshoppers. If you see them, catch them and get them away from your hibiscus plants. So that's the overall of my garden, where we are today. And this is May 13th, 2022, and I'll keep you updated as to what we got.